many women that come to me that ask me questions, they tell me that they are somehow unsatisfied with their sex life, that there are things that their partners do that make them feel uncomfortable, sometimes even insecure in their bodies, that there is tension built up, and that they cannot relax in the flow of the activity of sex. And so I ask them, and do you know instead what would you like to do? How would you like to be touched? How would you like to be approached? Or what would you need actually in order to feel secure and light up? And also to these questions, they tell me, I don't know, I'm not certain, I'm not sure about what I want or how I would like to be approached. I just know that something is wrong, that there is something missing. And so I notice that there are two things here, two things to be addressed. One of them is communication, being able to communicate openly and honestly about what we want, what we desire, what is pleasurable for us, and also feel that we can trust the other person with our own desires. But at the same time, we cannot have the communication, or we cannot even verbalize our desires if we don't know what they are. So in order to address both of these topics, I think we need to know first what we desire and what do we like, what works for us, for our bodies, what makes us feel pleasure. So there is the tool of self-awareness and also self-discovery that is really important, I think, because every single person is a whole universe. And if every one of us is different, there are things that will work for some and there are things that won't work for other people. And in sex, in sexuality, I think there are many things that we suppose we need to like, or we suppose that we need to desire, but when it comes to the fact, we are actually not satisfied. So today I'm going to talk about self-discovery and also communication as ways to really know ourselves better sexually, so we can have a pleasurable life and also more connection with our partners. I'm Emela Pear, I'm a sexual and spiritual coach, and I help people to connect deeply with their bodies as well as to unlock their erotic potential. I was really puzzled by these questions because we either have a total lack of sex education, or we have the sex education that we get or gain through pornography. So it's either this pole or the other pole. And with this pole, with the lack of sexual education, there are a lot of presuppositions. We suppose that because sex is related to our biology, that is something natural and we don't need to learn about it. We don't need to know things because somehow, some way, we will know automatically what we do or how to do it. And that's totally not accurate, because as anything, sexuality is also a practice of deepening intimacy, deepening connection, deepening actually love and self-discovery. And if we want to learn economy, we go to college. If we want to learn how to play the piano, we hire a teacher, an instructor, to show us how to do it. And in the same way, sexuality is something that we learn, and it's better if we learn, because otherwise we will have a lot of things that we don't know how to do and we don't know how to approach. So because we think many times that we need to know it all in that area, we don't talk openly about things. And it's difficult for us to sometimes even communicate with honesty and openly about these topics, because we fear that there is something wrong with us, or that we are going to be rejected somehow, or that we should know this, so why are we even asking? And that's not true. So it's very true that many times when we talk and we say that's that thing that you're doing, it's not like something I like. The other person takes it really personally, as there was something wrong with them, or there was something wrong with the way they are doing things. But that we really need to let go of, because as I said before, every person is a universe, is a whole world. And the way we like things, the other person might not like it, and vice versa. So if we're saying something to the person about something that we liked, or a certain pressure that we prefer, it's just mere information. And the other person needs to take it as a way of knowing ourselves better, knowing us better. The same way if somebody tells us, do it this way, or I would rather you exert more pressure, it's a beautiful information, and it doesn't say anything about us that we're doing wrong or we are wrong. That is in the first place. And then we have the other pole, we have the pornography pole, where we think that sex is about genital, and it's about orgasm, and it's about penetration. And so we suppose again that we need to like that we need to really go straight forward there. And like I said in my video previously that I'm going to put below, many women don't necessarily want to go there right away. They need stimulation, they need preliminaries, they need other things, erotic massage, to open up. But since we have this presupposition that sex is genital contact, that is penetration, that is just that, we suppose that, oh, I actually don't like sex, because we don't like necessarily that. But here what I want to say is that sex is actually way more than that. Like I said before, sex for me is union, intimacy, connection. Ultimately, it's connection with the divine. But let's not go there yet. But let's say sex is actually like the connection with others. So if we expand our concept of what sex is, sex could be really just an erotic massage with our partners that doesn't need to lead to orgasm, that doesn't need to lead to genital contact. Sex could be a very romantic dinner with eye gazing and flirtation that actually expands even the container more, where we can feel into what we desire, into what we like. Because many women, and I speak for myself as a woman in this lifetime, many women, they want something different. They don't necessarily want the genital orgasm, or they don't want to have that genital contact immediately, or they don't even want it for that time. So if we expand the concept and say sex could be this or that, without the expectation of having genital contact and penetration, I'm sure that more and more women will actually feel more safe to really come into connection with others. But many times we feel pressured that the thing needs to happen. And what is that thing even? It's just what I think society made us believe that sex was or sex is, but actually it's much more. So according to my understanding, and for why women come to me and ask me questions, of course some women would like that and needs just the preliminaries and need to return on in order to go there. Some other women really don't even want that. They just feel that they feel too pressured and they don't feel safe in their bodies, when actually they know that their partners want that. So it's about learning each other's language. And what I mean here is that if we learn what works for us, we can communicate it. Otherwise, we will just be trapped into the ideas of the society, into what our partner think he wants, or we think our partner wants. But once we actually know that, for example, in order to feel safe, I need a certain type of pressure. I need at least 1 hour of time for the container to be safe, or I need like an erotic massage, or I need to feel really seen. that puts things in context, and so we can communicate. We can say, like, in order for me to really open up, I would like for you to really touch me in this way. We don't need to go and say, oh, the thing that you're doing is wrong, or that touch is not wrong, I don't like it. Because that's not a way to approach our partner, and it's a very sensitive topic. Again, here a lot of people get hurt, a lot of people take it personally, and really it's not about that. This is a sensitive topic where we can actually grow together, we can spend together, but first it comes to self-discovery. And there's actually a very beautiful exercise that we can do solo or in couples with our partners, that is body mapping or pleasure mapping. You can call it either way. What is that? That we are going to set a time, maybe half an hour, normally half an hour, where we can just dedicate this half an hour to explore what the other likes. And this is just going to give us information. This is not about making anybody have an orgasm, feeling bad about something working or not working. This is just giving us information about the pleasure of the other person. So in these 30 minutes that we have, what we can do is try different pressures, try different types of touch, smells, perfumes, incense, toys, and use them around the body of the person, so that person can say what works and what doesn't work. So from 1 to 10, 1 being the lowest and 10 being really high arousal, we can say, oh, the touch, that's a 5, so it's neutral. And that other touch, that's a 9. And so we can learn about our partners, what is really delicious for them, and the same way we can learn about what actually works for us. And in this way, we can learn how to communicate with honesty and openly about our desires and our own turn on. Otherwise, we don't have the language for it. Otherwise, we can get really frustrated. This is why for me, self-discovery is really key, because now people know, okay, this works. And there are things that won't work, and sometimes we can actually take roles. Sometimes maybe the pleasure will be more focused on the other person. Sometimes it will be more focused on me. So like that, we can actually dance and even amplify what our turn-ons are. So because seeing somebody else, seeing our partners that we love, having so much pleasure and understanding that is different, can actually amplify also our own arousal. So this is some exploration. This pleasure mapping or body mapping is really beautiful to do in partnership, and it's also very beautiful to do solo, setting a time where you can explore with yourself certain types of touch, certain types of things that you like, and you will notice that there are things that work and doesn't work. And here what is really important is not to push through the limit. The body for certain things will be a no. And when something is a no, we need to respect that. We need to actually be with that and not try to push it. It's like, oh, but I want to like this because somebody else does. And that's why I'm talking about pornography being this point of reference that is not necessarily accurate with what our desires really are. And also the lack of education makes us feel that we need to know it all. But no, sex is something that we learn with others, something that we learn with ourselves. And that's the beauty, that like everything in life is growth. Everything in life is development. And we are here to evolve together with these practices. If you enjoyed this video, you can like it, you can also share it. And if you're curious about my mentorships, you can see the links below.